My identity was exposed by fans, and a large billboard crashed down, tearing off a substantial portion of my flesh. I rose from the mixture of blood and the pulverized cake, clutching my shattered collar. I quietly requested a passing Adrian to lend me a garment. My husband, with whom I had maintained a concealed marriage for 8 years, cast an indifferent glance in my direction. "This has nothing to do with me, do not frighten Ivy." He departed swiftly with the playful actress Ivy, as the crowd fervently pursued them, exclaiming how sweet they appeared. I proceeded to the hospital alone for treatment and signed a contract for overseas development. Later, accompanied by my new assistant, I ascended the stage for the highest international award. The typically aloof Adrian abandoned Ivy on the award platform. He frantically located me, tore up the divorce agreement, and pleaded in a trembling voice, "Let us return and make our relationship public, all right?" I dared to return home from the hospital only at dawn, as numerous cameras had previously focused on my disheveled attire and wounds. "The cake bears the name of Adrian, may I inquire if your intent to attract him is to compete with Ivy?" Spoiled cakes were hurled at me as I clumsily sought cover. On my phone, Adrian's authoritative protection of Ivy was edited into highly sweet videos. Since Ivy joined the company, my husband's affectionate interactions with her frequently topped trending searches, appearing unrealistically idyllic. However, as his wife, I was blocked for an entire month after calling him during an emergency room visit prompted by a program incident. I closed the video and accessed the promotional material for the Ginza Award concerning me. In any case, I could depart after receiving the award in 5 days. A notification sounded, and another international award emailed, "Dear Miss Sophia, if you are willing to attend, this award will be reserved for you." This message had persisted for 3 years, as I previously desired only the Ginza Award to accompany Adrian, thus politely declining. This time I did not reject it outright as before. Enduring intense pain in the flesh of my right arm and calf, I searched the villa for wound gel. The door lock clicked, and I looked up to meet Adrian's gaze. Upon seeing me, his pleased expression rapidly faded, turning indifferent and impatient. He appeared to anticipate my outburst, questioning his late return and intimacy with Ivy. Each time, he would slam the door and leave to find Ivy, awaiting my repeated apologies to them both. However, that was in the past. I calmly inquired, "Where is the wound gel?" He raised his eyes in surprise, yet his annoyed expression remained unchanged. "What are you pretending? Are you not simply feigning misery to coerce me into publicizing you? Now dissatisfied with the self-inflicted injury?" I widened my eyes, feigning misery? "I merely wished to buy you a birthday cake." Filled with joy to celebrate his birthday, yet I ended up bloodied from the wounds. Even my fans dared not oppose him, providing me with a garment barely sufficient for coverage. He actually believed I was pretending? Enough. Adrian sneered, his gaze chillingly cold. "Writing my name on the cake, how disgusting. As adults, I do not wish for such reputation-damaging behavior to recur. Marrying me was a matter damaging to his reputation." I clenched my fists. Then why agree to marry me? Clearly, I was the one harmed, and only I was maliciously photographed. He suddenly fell silent, and I felt my heart being slowly strangled. I closed my eyes and said, "Fine, return the gel to me." That was the gel I procured by flying across the world day and night during Adrian's post-surgery hospitalization, along with an amulet obtained after kowtowing 3,000 times. It was the injury he sustained saving me from a falling chandelier. Disregarding my heart's overburdened pounding, I carefully applied it to his arm. "Thank you." That time, he reciprocated by holding my hand, his expression notably gentle. "Thrown away." His voice snapped me back, his hand on the doorknob, frowning. "Look at your right arm, truly disgusting." I instinctively covered the gruesome long suture on my right arm, gasping in pain. His gaze shifted slightly. "Once you behave and cease causing trouble, I will purchase a new gel for you." However, I did not plead as before. Adrian lost patience, slamming the door heavily as he left. With trembling arms, I used my phone to search for alternative gels. I accidentally opened a Weibo notification. In Ivy's accompanying image, my gel was piled on the ground like trash, with the amulet dangling from her slender white wrist. Oh dear, the CEO is so afraid I'll get injured like others and become ugly and scary. He gave me so much gel, what a dummy. The comment section erupted with cries of sweetness. The top trending comment was Adrian's, seemingly with a smile, "You deserve it more." Scrolling down revealed entirely warm lifestyle photos of the two. I surveyed the pitch-black, empty villa with a self-mocking smile, liked their posts, and purchased a ticket for 4 days later. The next day upon waking, my phone was nearly overwhelmed with messages. Ivy, stimulated by the like, issued a tearful statement that enraged the chivalrous Adrian. My Weibo was taken over, posting apologies that demeaned me throughout. Searches labeling me as a homewrecker slut quickly surged to the top, only to be swiftly removed. Other defamations concerning me were left intact, even encouraged. I let out a laugh. My husband truly could not bear for Ivy to assume any risk. I packed my luggage and decided to purchase a new gown capable of concealing scars. As the door opened, I was forcefully pushed by a bodyguard, staggering 2 steps. His face remained impassive. "Adrian instructed us to protect you." I clutched my aching shoulder, smiling pallidly. Protect me? Yet when I was besieged by all reporters capturing my disheveled and indecent misery, why did no one come to rescue me? A disdainful smile appeared at his lips, but he offered no response. I pretended not to notice the badge on his chest, Adrian's exclusive bodyguard for Ivy, Hart. Likely just to prevent me from causing trouble. "What are you blocking the door for? Where do you intend to go?" I turned my head to see Adrian entering the villa courtyard with many people. The crowd chuckled lowly in jest. Is this Adrian's hidden marriage partner? Knowing Ivy is the true love yet refusing to let go, truly despicable. Look at her scars, how disgusting. They made no effort to conceal their malice. Ivy raised her chin triumphantly, as if invisible. I responded calmly, to buy a gown, one that conceals scars. Somehow, this provoked Adrian. He forcefully grabbed my arm, dragging me into the villa, his voice lowered. Is it necessary to repeat it incessantly? How embarrassing. I broke into a cold sweat from the pain, which he noticed only upon dragging me to the dining table. Adrian panicked briefly before calming immediately, coaxing me impatiently. I will accompany you tomorrow, all right? Stop sulking, I had no desire to engage, mentally planning my overseas arrangements in 3 days. Adrian's friends decorated while teasing. Brother Adrian, this is a specially arranged makeup birthday party for you. Why is your woman refusing the favor? He refuted none of the defamations, looking down at me condescendingly. In the past, such perfunctory coaxing would have moved me to eternal devotion. However, the party makeup was due to his preoccupation with intimate activities with Ivy on his birthday night, even captured by my car's recorder. What was I doing then? Alone in the hospital, struggling to hold my half-torn garment with one hand, receiving stitch after stitch. Thus, it was unnecessary. This time Adrian awaited a response in vain, growing increasingly anxious with my silence. He subconsciously spoke, "You." Suddenly, a large glob of cream was smeared on his face. I glared coldly at the grinning Ivy. Her face stiffened, and a tearful voice immediately emerged. "Sister-in-law, I'm sorry, I thought we were friends. Last time, it truly wasn't intentional to take brother Adrian away. If not for you taking my clothes." She hastily covered her mouth, appearing severely bullied and about to kneel before me. Adrian encircled her waist, and she leaned into his embrace. "I can't do anything right." "Wah." He displayed a rare gentle expression, whispering ambiguously in her ear, coaxing her into smiles. The two exchanged a tacit glance, resembling a sweet couple. I, the wife, appeared out of place. As I turned to leave, the next second, a cake was forcefully smashed onto my face. Chocolate fragments pierced my eyes amid dazzling lights. The leading girl clapped and laughed. She was Ivy's friend Claire, the reporter who first exposed my identity and photographed me that day. A dignified female celebrity like this? Truly filthy. Ivy burst into laughter, while Adrian kept his arm around her shoulder, watching me silently. I knew he wanted me to bow and apologize. Yet, I merely wiped my face clean and turned to leave directly. My arm was seized, and Adrian's light mocking voice sounded behind. Why leave? Did you not wish to celebrate my birthday? Unnecessary. Enduring the excruciating pain of bursting wounds, I attempted to pull my arm free. My ingratitude infused his voice with anger, his grip tightening instead. Temper tantrums should have limits. I offered you a way out. Ivy and her friends were frightened by your billboard incident that day. Would apologizing kill you? I then turned back, and Adrian fell silent instantly, perhaps upon seeing my reddened, rubbed eyes. Ignoring his uncertain gaze, I raised my hand and delivered a heavy slap to Claire. Ivy screamed and lunged at me. As I prepared to kick, I was forcefully thrown onto the table. My waist pained me to blackout, and upon regaining senses, the first sight was Adrian raising his hand to slap my face. The slap ultimately did not land. I looked at him and smiled. Why not continue? Adrian reached peak fury, choking me and roaring, "What madness is this? Do you still want a wedding? Who would dare marry a lunatic like this?" In such moments, he always threatened with the wedding. I had waited endlessly for him to agree to our wedding, only to first receive his official announcement with another. I pushed him away and left without looking back. Unnecessary. Adrian should be grateful I owed him half my life initially, otherwise, I would have slapped him too. This time, no one stopped me, yet I felt Adrian's gaze fixed upon me. I heard someone advising him, but he whispered. Unnecessary. She willingly maintained a hidden marriage with me for 8 years, she cannot leave me. I merely boarded the prearranged car when suddenly a scream emanated from the villa. Brother Adrian, there's blood on your shirt. Followed by chaotic footsteps. I nonchalantly wrapped the bandage, glimpsing Adrian rushing out from the villa in the car's final startup moment. His face bore confusion, seemingly very concerned for me. Sophia. Wait. I'll take you for treatment. The car sped away. I no longer looked at him, merely checking into the hotel with my suitcase afterward. Awaiting departure after the award in 2 days. I rehearsed the stage process, delivering the speech off script. However, upon glancing at the full-body mirror, I froze in place. I dazedly stroked the mirror attempting to obscure the scars on my right side, yet no effort concealed them. In my stupor, Adrian's message arrived. I won't pursue today's incident of staining my shirt with fake blood plasma, just wash it clean. Fake blood plasma, undoubtedly, he firmly believed Ivy's words. He likely forgot that during 8 years of hidden marriage, I personally washed and ironed his clothes. I distrusted his unsolicited attentiveness. Indeed, his true conversational focus arrived. If you still desire the award nomination, apologize to Ivy after shopping tomorrow, it benefits you. He softened his tone, it's merely a career, you are already my wife, no need to target the young girl so, Be obedient. I moved my fingers to reply with a single okay. In 8 years of marriage, amid the green screens, I had never responded so briefly. The other side repeatedly showed typing, ultimately falling silent. After prolonged silence, I dialed the award organizer. Cancel my nomination. The response struck like thunder. Sister Sophia, I'm sorry, it has actually been quietly replaced. I opened my mouth but emitted no sound. Her voice carried a sob, I shouldn't have told you, but I truly admire you. The investors seem to have replaced it to please a certain actress, promoting you was to build momentum for her surprise. Sorry, I didn't dare tell you earlier. After 8 years of marriage, I was merely a sacrifice for Adrian's new favorite. Surprisingly, I felt somewhat relieved. Thank you, I understand and won't expose it. She hesitated. Sister Sophia, do you truly wish to cancel? What if my information is erroneous? Confirmed. No one knew better than I who that favored actress was. I smiled. As for me, I'll participate in a more prestigious international award. I also anticipated Adrian's expression when the award was announced in 2 days without my presence. She quickly became delighted. Yes. You will surely succeed. Additionally, the most influential decision-maker for the Ginza Award seems to have withdrawn due to your replacement. She said hesitantly. In Europe, if he can meet you, he will surely be very happy. I was stunned but smiled in response. After hanging up, I rescheduled an earlier flight and composed an English reply email. I confirm attendance at the award ceremony. Upon sending, my phone illuminated with a Europe-bound itinerary reminder, followed immediately by Adrian's message. Tomorrow, remember to buy the gown together. After prolonged inactivity, a new message arrived just before the screen dimmed. I eagerly anticipate your appearance wearing it to receive the award. I did not reply, busily arranging international award matters. On the final countdown day, I carried my suitcase downstairs and saw Adrian's car blocking the street corner. I was somewhat surprised he did not casually promise as usual, only to abandon me waiting bitterly while turning to accompany Ivy. Yet, I decisively walked in the other direction. The airport shuttle was already waiting. Suddenly, urgent footsteps sounded behind. My hem was grasped, Adrian's voice trembling. Why carry a suitcase? Where are you going? Tomorrow is your award ceremony. I did not turn back, speaking softly. Merely fetching something for a friend. He subconsciously rebutted. Friends? Someone like you has no friends. His voice abruptly ceased. The driver politely smiled, taking the suitcase and thanking me on behalf of his wife. I knew Adrian would not easily let me leave, so I had contacted the driver en route. Adrian watched coldly as he took the suitcase, whispering rebuke. As a public figure, you contact ordinary people privately like this? I looked at him. Mr. Adrian, with people around, are you not afraid of misunderstandings about our relationship? He was stunned, releasing my hem as if electrocuted. See, he still felt ashamed of our relationship. Without glancing at his expression, I walked directly to his car. Only after I sat in the back did he suddenly brace the door, whispering. We are inherently a married couple. Detrimental to reputation. My casual remark darkened his face further, to the passenger seat. I looked at the pitiful Ivy in the passenger seat, along with the pink, cloying ornaments. Forget it. I had never sat in his passenger seat, now departing, it was unnecessary. He suddenly pulled me out, pressing me into the passenger seat. You belong here. Then, without further ado, he entered the driver's seat and started the vehicle. Ivy glared resentfully from the back. Throughout the journey, Adrian grasped at topics. I yawned disinterestedly. Unbeknownst, the conversation shifted back to the other two. Ivy expressed a desire for milk tea, and Adrian immediately prepared to exit. 1 second before pushing the door, he abruptly turned. Wife, you're not angry, right? In 8 years, he had never used this term. I momentarily failed to react. Not angry, merely caring for the newcomer. No longer in love, there was nothing to anger about. Adrian pursed his lips, still exiting swiftly to buy milk tea. Upon return, he brought me a cup of fruit tea. The complimentary item was truly unpalatable. I sipped twice and set it down, heeding Adrian's request to open the storage compartment. An open box of foreign-language condoms fell out. I impassively stuffed it back. His flustered explanation caught in his throat, feigning casualness. Perhaps cigarettes left by some client. I nodded, pretending ignorance of the text. He then relaxed. I opened the door, exiting and entering the gown store. Adrian pushed me into the premium fitting room, his face rarely revealing tenderness. Today, I'll cover the bill. In a daze, I seemed back in our early dating phase. However, next time, do not delusionally employ various means to force publicity. We are adults. Be obedient. Publicity awaits career stability. His voice pulled me back to reality, his large hand stroking my head. Enduring nausea, I nodded and entered the cubicle. I discarded the utterly ill-fitting gown. Upon exiting, I saw Adrian and Ivy trying wedding attire. Black suit and white dress, far superior in quality to mine, perfectly matched. Ivy appeared delighted. At the height of emotion, she embraced Adrian and kissed his cheek noisily. I truly thank brother Adrian. Her flushed face appeared pitiable. My husband hesitated briefly before clasping her nape for a deeper return kiss. The clerk exclaimed how sweet, so I photographed alongside her. Adrian, upon seeing me, his pupils contracted. He released Ivy, approaching me hastily to explain. Sophia, it's not what you think. I lowered my eyes. He seemed to realize his attire's inappropriateness. Adrian gritted his teeth, dragging a reluctant Ivy striding into the fitting room. Wait for me to change. Listen properly to my explanation. As the two rustled removing clothes, I turned without hesitation and left, taking a car directly to the airport. I arranged for someone to mail the divorce agreement I had already signed to home. Likely due to the wedding attire's elaborate beauty, changing took too long. Adrian hurriedly emerged and changed clothes, only to see an empty hall. His wife was not there. An inexplicable panic propelled him to rush into Sophia's prior fitting room. The solitarily discarded gown struck his heart heavily. He seized a passing clerk and roared. "Where is Sophia?" The clerk failed to comprehend. "Were you not trying wedding attire with Ivy? She left after seeing that." She continued babbling, "I truly don't know what that woman was thinking, enjoying your pickup yet discarding the clothes and leaving, how shameless." The clerk's voice seemed to fade rapidly. Adrian's mind went blank. He subconsciously walked forward, suddenly recalling Sophia's morning suitcase. She had deceived him, she truly intended to leave him. Someone extended slender arms from behind to embrace him. Adrian turned joyfully. Yet, he met Ivy's smiling face. "Brother Adrian, you know I don't want the wedding attire to be mere trial." He was not unaware that Ivy was gradually eroding his boundaries. From intimate scandals to wedding requests. He indulged, enjoying immensely. Yet, this panic left him no mood to continue the game. He forcefully shook her off, as he had shaken off Sophia initially, instructing his assistant. "Find her at all costs." The assistant's reply constricted his pupils. "Mr. Adrian, we just received news that Madam has voluntarily cancelled her award eligibility." Upon landing abroad and handing over to the company, I widened my eyes in shock upon seeing the new assistant Ethan. "Pleased to work with you, Miss Sophia." During the interval hiding in the fitting room changing gowns, my mind remained in turmoil. I had encountered him several times. 8 years ago, as a somewhat renowned figure, I intercepted many drinks at a gathering for an alcohol-allergic newcomer. That person was Ethan. However, shortly after, I obtained a marriage certificate with Adrian, known only to some insiders. Yet, he never contacted me again. I never saw that initial newcomer make waves in the industry, once feeling regretful. Curiously, I asked, "When did you shift behind the scenes?" He smiled, "Around your marriage, whether the Ginza Award or the International Chinlin Award, I've always been grateful, striving to garner votes for you. But I believe the Ginza Award is no longer worthy of you. Nor is that person." These casual words concealed untold efforts in his 8-year ascent. Having changed into the gown, my emotions were complex. In the years Adrian discarded me like worn shoes, someone secretly cherished me so. I took a deep breath and forcefully drew the curtain. Directly meeting Ethan's gaze as he leaned half against the wall. "Sorry, I'm very grateful, but I wish to rely on my own efforts. This is unrelated to pursuing you." Ethan smiled slightly, stunning me with this direct approach. He explained slowly, "What I did was merely reduce some behind-the-scenes manipulations. Your award selection is well-deserved, rest assured." I was speechless. Then this gown. It perfectly concealed my scars without sacrificing aesthetics. Evidently, it was meticulously designed. "I prepared the design long ago. Upon receiving your measurements, I immediately commissioned rush production." A trace of dimness flashed in his eyes. "I'm investigating the perpetrator." Regrettably, being abroad then, I could only disperse the paparazzi and dispatch protection afterward, sorry. So, he was the one who dispersed the paparazzi. Indeed, Adrian only intervened in photographs involving scandals with him, remaining indifferent to my malicious indecent shots. Finally reacting, I pursed my lips and smiled gratefully at Ethan. He shyly coughed lowly, hurrying me to the venue. Upon makeup completion, one makeup artist opened her phone and exclaimed, "The domestic jeans award is today too, but the promotional silhouettes have issues." Trending news showed frequent, chaotic silhouette changes. I pondered, likely, the organizers had notified Adrian by then. Fortunately, I had discarded my SIM card at the airport early. Otherwise, to enhance Ivy's aura, he would likely scour all of China to bind me back as a foil. Comments on the sudden replacement varied. Praises mostly from Ivy's fans, mocking my unworthiness leading to replacement. Only a small portion of my fans persisted in defending me. The makeup room door opened, Ethan approached, leaning toward my phone screen. He laughed mockingly. "Without my management, this award is truly chaotic." I could not help but smile, following him to backstage. From the half-closed door came the makeup artist's excited discussions. "The opposite award ceremony has begun. This is the winner? The makeup is so strange." Meanwhile, I was seated backstage. A foreign actress conversed with me. "I've heard of you long ago. I'm curious about your domestic award, is it truly so appealing?" She hesitated. "I saw your news, that winner seems so odd. If you truly chose this award, I'd find it regrettable." Even upon winning, Ivy diligently clung to Adrian, as if fearing no one knew their relationship. For the first time, Adrian pushed her away, preventing further closeness. I smiled, evading the topic. Previously, I was blind. Approaching the stage, I was internally very nervous. This was a global live broadcast. Ethan handed tissue, I then noticed my sweaty palms, gratefully accepting. The backstage door was forcefully opened. "Teacher Ethan." "Trouble." The Jeansa Award officially stated I temporarily reneged and withdrew. Between lines, it insinuated my tarnished credibility and disdain for the award. Ivy's fans quickly enraged, nearly demolishing my online accounts. I also opened my long-unused domestic Weibo alternate account, unexpectedly finding a private message. It was from Adrian, who had overlooked deleting this number. "Sophia, wherever you are, return immediately to apologize to the officials and Ivy, there's still a chance. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee your job continuance." I typed, "If nothing else, blocked." The other side sent voice directly. "It was just trying wedding attire? As an adult, have you no sense? Do you think rejecting the Jeansa Award allows future domestic survival?" Seeming to realize the heavy tone, he softened. "But I am your husband, as long as you obediently return, I'll always protect you. Even sending private jet photos, quickly send your address, I'll pick you up. How about it?" Ethan dispatched a makeup artist to adjust my skirt hem and collar, casually mentioning, "It seems someone has been messaging you persistently." I glanced at the constantly illuminating phone, casually blocking Adrian. Whatever he sent was irrelevant to me. "How to handle the controversy of your Jeansa Award withdrawal?" "Rest assured, I have arrangements." I took a deep breath and ascended the brilliantly lit stage. The award process proceeded smoothly. Until the final speech concluded, Ethan gentlemanly escorted me on stage. When someone raised this, I lifted a bit of the right skirt hem. The audience gasped audibly. The scar had slightly cracked and bled from movement. Ethan had procured gel to barely staunch it. The gown, shifting from bright to dark red, complemented the scar. Like a phoenix reborn. I am honored to be seen and recognized by international peers. I thanked everyone, finally myself. Grateful for not being defeated by harm, escaping that cage. During the post-stage interview finale, a reporter suddenly posed sharply. "May I ask if you left the Jeansa Award due to injury? Does this international award seem cheaper in your eyes?" I regarded the unfamiliar masked face unseen in rehearsal. He guiltily met my gaze steadfastly. I lowered my eyes, thrusting my phone's record toward the camera. By the time he realized what it was and attempted to shift the lens, it was too late. Adrian's hotel threats to me were crystal clear. He intended to force my return via live broadcast. I capitalized accordingly. Ethan appeared unbeknownst behind the fleeing reporter, pressing his shoulder to forcibly redirect the lens toward me. The evidence scrolled on the large screen. I calmly elaborated. I voluntarily withdrew from this investor-manipulated, valueless award. During communication, I discovered my qualification had long been cancelled, yet privately used for promotion. Whose momentum it built is unclear. I merely hope you cease harassing me. Thank you. As my words concluded, the venue erupted in uproar. Gazes toward me held admiration laced with pity. Meaning they deceived her into arduous rehearsals for promotion, actually as a stepping stone for the winner. Unsuppressible whispers transmitted via cameras to domestic live broadcasts. I naturally discerned the reporter as Adrian's operative. His reach extended so far, likely, he would soon seek me. Concluding the interview briefly, ignoring the irrepressible gossip, I departed under Ethan and security escort. The initial segment smoothly evaded many paparazzi. Suddenly, Ethan's face grew grave, the vehicle tilted sharply, veering directly roadside. I was dizzied by the jolt, yet to react, when a man strode down from the vehicle blocking us. His hand forcefully buckled the passenger window. "Get out, Sophia." His shadow loomed heavily downward. Ethan decisively exited, interposing between him and me. "Is this not Mr. Adrian? May I inquire what dissatisfaction you hold toward our company's artist, entirely unrelated to you?" He emphasized entirely unrelated. Adrian's throat bobbed, ultimately coldly regarding me. "That is our private matter, unrelated to you. Sophia, return with me." Observing Ethan's displeased expression, I proactively opened the door and exited, quietly regarding him. After prolonged mutual silence, Adrian surprisingly yielded first. He suddenly strode toward me, forcefully grasping my hand. "Want me to yield? Fine, you succeeded. I was wrong, I shouldn't have threatened you. Are you satisfied now? I did all this for you. Because you're mud that can't stick to the wall." He roared, his words concluding in silence. I coldly attempted to shake off his hand, scoffing. "Neurotic, don't flatter yourself. Saw the divorce agreement? Sign it quickly." My hand was fiercely clenched. I gestured to halt the approaching Ethan. Adrian's eyes bulged in fury, rims reddening. "You're serious? Divorce, how could you bear to truly divorce? You clearly loved me so." Clearly loving him to death, to the point of groveling to apologize at his and the mistress's home. He unscrupulously depleted my affection, assuming I'd eternally wait in place. Yet, I had long retracted this affection. I pointed to the roadside onlookers, speaking so loudly, "Aren't you afraid of embarrassment?" But this time Adrian did not immediately release me. He suddenly smiled, revealing a confident expression. "Fine, I understand, you just want publicity, right?" Adrian's voice relaxed anew. "I'll give you a wedding, return home now, and I won't pursue the divorce." I directly extracted the divorce agreement backup from my bag. "Sign it. I fundamentally no longer love you, understood?" He stared fixedly at my fingers, voice trembling. "Where is your ring?" "Nothing important, casually discarded." "Sign quickly." That ring I had been reluctant to remove for 8 years. Adrian then seemed to accept reality, slowly accepting the agreement. Just as I thought divorce imminent, he viciously tore it. Paper scraps fluttered everywhere, eliciting surrounding exclamations. "I won't give up, Sophia." He met my gaze amid the scraps, enunciating. "As long as I disagree, you remain my wife. I'll make you return." Ethan passed by, harshly bumping him, escorting me to the car toward the company. Regardless of Adrian's consent, this marriage was definitively ending. In the company, many new colleagues praised me with sparkling eyes, including the girl who communicated with me for the Jeans Award. Ethan had managed to extract her, recruiting to his company. Amid discussions, Ivy was inevitably dragged for comparison. Laughable, still wanting to use her as foil, when Sophia fundamentally disdains this award. This person tripped on her skirt and fell multiple times on stage. Originally, this event nearly rivaled international nominations. The Jeans Award is prestigious, yet domestic awards of greater value exist beyond it. I strived for it merely because Adrian casually mentioned interest. Without my emphasis on the Jeans Award, Ivy's unilateral rivalry appeared ridiculous. I sipped coffee. Previously revolving around a man, I was also ridiculous. Fortunately, escape was not too late. Moreover, Adrian hastily left midway, leaving the rest with darkened faces. I was stunned. Was he truly abandoning Ivy to seek me? I casually discarded trash, thinking this truly self-flattering. During preparations, Ethan persistently assisted. Yet, after expressing affection, he made no further moves. At most, he dashed daily collecting evidence, preparing divorce litigation. When angered, he even cursed vehemently. I also briefly recuperated for 2 days, diving relentlessly into new work schedules. Yet, during one negotiation, the counterpart suddenly changed expression. Embarrassedly, he handed his phone showing local Twitter trends. I frowned. Adrian had directly publicized our relationship. Marriage certificates posted across major media platforms, frantically promoted. Accompanied by Adrian's composed copy. I respected her dreams, never choosing publicity, yet her reciprocation was fleeing the Jeans Award for the Chinlin Award. Clearly still married, she insists on remaining abroad. I was nearly amused in anger. How had I not previously discovered his brainlessness and shamelessness? I was not alone in discerning issues. But Mr. Adrian, rumors have always been of you and Ivy's scandals. Merely work necessities, she understands. The counterpart was surprisingly Ivy's fan, then at least give Ivy a home. Yet Adrian's reply was unprecedentedly icy. Unrelated to me, regarding her grey tactics in the award, we have decided to terminate and pursue accountability. Shifting all blame to Ivy. This donkey killing after unloading was truly nauseating. Subsequently, regardless of netizens' curses, Adrian single-mindedly expressed affection for me online. Now having obtained the Chinlin Award, no need to conceal further, I'll give you the most beautiful wedding. As if truly deeply rooted in love for me. Public opinion gradually shifted to shipping our subtle affections. I had a headache, but solely because I desired no entanglement with him. I reactivated my Weibo account, posting divorce agreement photos. Due to Adrian's long-term infidelity, I proposed divorce last month. If disagreeing, see you in court. Black and white, crystal clear. The nascent shipping trend instantly altered. I paid no attention to subsequent developments. Work delayed by Adrian's disruption, I was overwhelmed. Upon flying back domestically for branch work, I was blocked at the company entrance. I coldly regarded Adrian, haggard from consecutive travels these days. He stared unblinkingly, producing a large rose bouquet from behind. Softly, Sophia, today is our 9th anniversary. He licked his lips, eyes pleading. I admit some mistakes, but I've always treated Ivy as a sister. I cannot leave you, whatever you desire, I can accomplish. Performing deep affection for whom now? In that case, properly care for your child in Ivy's belly. Didn't she kneel at your company entrance begging status days ago? Adrian blurted, no. I interrupted, taking the clothes Ethan handed, rummaging the pocket. Adrian's eyes brightened, speaking urgently. Sophia, this is what I gave you, you still care, right? Return, and I can give more. I tossed the pocket's contents, voice sarcastic. What you forgot here when taking my clothes to give Ivy. Adrian's face instantly paled. Doing it in my car with dashcam, enjoyable? I softly read the foreign text on that condom box, watching Adrian's gaze gradually dim. His lips trembled, discarding the condom as if shocked. neither admitting nor denying. You knew then, why not say? He hastily raised eyes to explain, yet instantly silenced. For the first time, he willingly gazed seriously into my eyes. Seeing only affection's extinguished coldness. Surrounding exclamations, Adrian, never concealing Ivy-related matters publicly, gritted teeth dispatching blockers. I noticed the bodyguard's Ivy-exclusive tags were placed. Yet soon, his actions would spread online. Proceed to divorce now, I don't want further ugliness. Adrian silently followed, as if muted. I tugged my lip in a smile. Actually, upon discovery, I immediately discarded the clothes and condoms. These newly purchased and unsealed were merely my petty revenge. Yet, he truly believed unwaveringly. Likely, privately with Ivy countless times. Obtaining the divorce certificate, I felt immense relief. Yet Adrian stood rooted, hands trembling tightly. Suddenly, a disheveled-haired woman rushed from outside. Ethan immediately shielded me, watching the half-mad, pregnant Ivy dash toward Adrian. Mr. Adrian. Brother Adrian, you said divorcing that old woman would lead to marrying me. My belly holds your child. Ah, Adrian's face iced, grabbing Ivy's hair and flinging outward. Ivy rolled in pain on the ground. Bodyguards proactively advanced, clubbing her abdomen repeatedly. She screamed, clothes tattered, blood pooling beneath. Yet no one dared assist her. Just like me that day. Adrian turned toward me, yet never dared lift his head. His voice trembled. She carries not my child, I never intended divorce. I only wished eternal togetherness, why relinquish 8 years' affection so? He grew increasingly agitated, fists clenched trembling. Seeing my prolonged non-response, Adrian anxiously slowly raised his head. I spoke softly, remember, you abandoned me first. But I ceased loving you first, I only wish we never meet again. His figure swayed. I turned and walked out with Ethan. A bang sounded behind, followed by panicked shouts. Sophia, look at me. Adrian panted heavily, pleading. Yet I no longer turned back. This return domestically, Ethan opportunely sued Ivy and accomplices. The fan initially exposing my identity and the billboard pusher were easily captured, confessing crimes. Ivy had miscarried, loudly accusing Adrian in court. Yet, she could not escape imprisonment. Adrian's reputation declined rapidly, yet he seemed oblivious. Everyone said he loved his ex-wife miserably. But it deceived not those truly aware. Soon, his enterprise decayed swiftly due to offending multiple parties, on the brink. These I heard from his friend. Sister-in-law, brother Adrian, truly loves you. He spoke difficultly, he now binges daily, neglecting the company, advise him, as if saving a life. I had him pass the phone to Adrian. Sophia. His voice brimmed with expectation. We are divorced, cease bothering me. I calmly interrupted, hanging and blocking in one motion. Thereafter, he no longer appeared in my life. After unknown duration, I gradually lowered defenses, deciding to be with Ethan. He never restricted my career, instead desperately assisting. Accompanying my dashes everywhere. When he collapsed ill from fatigue, he still jested I lacked sympathy. A nurse knocked, saying someone delivered an amulet. I thanked, turning to carefully affix it to Ethan. Then the nurse hesitated, it's for you. Regarding the faintly familiar amulet, I was stunned, realizing, and rushing to the window. Adrian under the tree subconsciously sought evasion, yet merely retreated awkwardly 2 steps. I suddenly recalled kowtowing for the amulet years ago, similarly injuring knees. I sighed, opening the window. Resolutely tossing the amulet out. Thank you, but do not seek me again. The restless shadow under the tree stilled momentarily. Then slowly picked up the amulet. No longer straightening, water stains spread on concrete. I closed the window, returning indoors, yet Ethan grasped my hand, mysteriously stuffing something. Regarding the amulet in hand, I was speechless. Were you the one who sought this for me? I smiled, hammering him, lowering head to conceal burning eye rims. Falsely reporting injury, tired? Ethan smiled, tucking my hair. Went during spare time, not tired, because you deserve it. Gentle breeze lifted petals, accompanying his tender voice. You certainly deserve the world's finest things. The door opened, colleagues chaotically squeezed in, bearing large gift packages. I thought, henceforth, I would not be lonely.